Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Happy Monday. Tracking showers for some. We'll show you which areas are more favored than others and when we'll start to feel more like May as opposed to March. Coming up.
I-40 shooting. Today, the man accused of killing a driver on the highway is due in court as the victim's family mourns.
Family is not going to be the same without him anymore.
How they're remembering him and their message for other mourning commuters.
And whooping cough warning, the safety measures Wake County schools are taking and what doctors say your family needs to do to protect themselves. A lot to tell you about here on this Monday morning as we get you started on a new work week. I'm Renee Chu.
I'm Chris Lovingett in for Jeff Hogan. A new week, a little tired for trying to get the rubber band back a little bit from that loss of hour. Oh, I know, Chris Michaels. I feel so bad because you had to watch it skip forward and lose the time.
Exactly. I did not see an ounce of daylight being saved when that happened. But hey, here we are. Got to deal with it, right? 6 o'clock this morning, and we've got a few showers creeping up from South Carolina. It's going to be dry at the bus stop for you. And for the peak morning commute hours, it'll be dry as well. But we'll slowly start to see these showers creeping to the north. Heaviest rain, highest rain totals going to be closer to the coast. About 1/4 of an inch of rain possible near Fayetteville. But the farther north you go, the less rain you're going to see today. In terms of when we see it arriving, again, gradually creeps from south to north. I've got that 50% chance because it's really going to split between I-40. So farther south, more rain, farther north, less. And that you see what it does to our temperatures. Benson in the upper 50s. It's also the case in Clinton. Meanwhile, Roxborough at 64. I'll show you when this map is covered in upper 70s coming up in a little bit. Ken?
All right, Chris, happening now. All the major routes are delay-free right now, but we do have a crash to report. This one is on Glenwood Avenue near Leadmine Road. It's right near Crabtree Valley Mall where you see the red arrow, but we're not picking up any delays in that particular area, but you have to navigate that intersection. Just watch for some police activity. Let's leave you a look with the Beltline and New Bern Avenue. Traffic definitely flowing nicely in both directions and beginning to pick up just a bit. You're getting ready to head out the door, though. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Today, the man charged with shooting and killing a driver on I-40 is due in court. He is charged with killing Ricardo Baez during the morning commute on Friday. Baez was a father of two. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from the Wake County Courthouse. And Kelsey, the family of Baez says this is a senseless tragedy.
Yes, Renee, and our cameras were there during the aftermath of that suspected road rage shooting on I-40 Friday. This morning, we're here at the Wake County Courthouse as the man who's charged with this will face a judge for the first time. This man you see on your screen, Josue Quintanilla Reyes, is due in court today. He's facing murder charges after that shooting on I-40 Friday. Deputies arrested Reyes for shooting into Ricardo Baez's truck as he headed into work. Baez was taken to the hospital where he later died. He leaves two children behind, an 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. His family still reeling from grief.
How can you tell a 12-year-old that his dad is not going to make it for dinner? Do you have a good way to say that? No, I have to do it.
So tough to hear this morning. We'll be sure to have a crew here at the courthouse to keep you updated on what comes out of this case. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Whooping cough cases are on the rise in the Triangle, and now a case has been reported within Wake County schools. Let's bring in WRAL's Laura Levine. She joins us live from UNC Rex in Raleigh. Laura, doctors say it is so important for families to protect themselves against this respiratory illness.
Chris, good morning. Health experts here at UNC Health tell us that the whooping cough cases have seen a 4- to 6-fold increase from 2024 to 2023, and that trend continues into this new year. Take a look at your screen here. Just last week, Wake County Public Schools sent this letter out to parents and students at Oberlin Middle School, informing them of confirmed cases there. One confirmed case. Dr. David Weber with UNC Health tells us that there were more than 2 cases cases of the whooping cough at UNC hospitals the week of March 1st. So the respiratory illness often begins with a common cold, and similar to a common cold, but intense coughing can last for weeks or even months. It is most serious to babies and children, especially those who haven't had the recommended vaccine.
I would be concerned about anyone within the classroom. Generally, you think about people being exposed who are within, 6 feet. But of course, they'd be mingling and so on. So I'd be quite concerned.
And of course, vaccination is really important for certain groups, especially women who are pregnant, as well as those who work very closely with infants or individuals with chronic respiratory conditions. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
A man is dead after being hit by a vehicle while riding a bike in Rocky Mount. Police responded to a crash on Fairview Road around 8:45 last night. When they got there, they found a 60-year-old man who had been hit while on a bike. He died at the scene. His name has not yet been released. We're working to learn whether anyone is facing charges.
And we're also working to learn the name of a man who died after being stabbed in Durham. Police were called to a home on Magnolia Tree Lane around 10:30 yesterday morning. Well, that's where they found the man who had been stabbed, and he was pronounced dead at that location. A neighbor shared with us what he knows about the family.
Just moved in recently. We go to the park right across the street all the time. They always wave. They're the nicest people in the world. So it's extremely unsettling, extremely.
Durham police say a suspect is in custody at this time, but they're not releasing any more information because this is an active investigation.
Tonight, the Durham Board of County Commissioners will vote on appropriating $186 million to the Durham School of Arts project. Durham Public Schools broke ground on the new campus on Duke Homestead Road in November. The additional funding would bring the total project budget to about $241 million. That's the full project funding for Durham Public Schools. Construction is expected to be complete by the end of 2027. The Board of County Commissioners meets at 7 tonight.
Congress has until midnight Friday to avoid a government shutdown. House Speaker Mike Johnson unveiled a bill that would fund the government through the end of September. It includes an increase in defense spending and a reduction of non-defense spending. President Trump is urging Republicans to support this bill, and their slim majority in the House means the bill could be derailed if just 2 of them do not support it. It would also require some Democrats in the Senate to vote for it, too.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, we've just learned North Korea has fired several ballistic missiles into the sea. This is their 5th missile launch event this year. This is actually a photo of some U.S. Army's armored vehicles there. It comes hours after South Korean and U.S. troops kicked off their large annual combined drills. Both militaries began their annual Freedom Shield Command Post exercise this morning. North Korea is calling these drills an aggressive and confrontational war rehearsal.
Today, Governor Josh Stein plans to announce a new initiative to strengthen North Carolina families. Stein will make the announcement during a visit to Kate's Corner Learning Center in Durham. We expect that announcement around 10:30 this morning. After that, Stein will be the keynote speaker at the 2025 Apprenticeship NC Conference at the Washington Duke Inn in Durham.
Mark Carney will serve as Canada's next prime minister. He'll replace current Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, and the governing Liberal Party elected Carney as its new leader yesterday. Trudeau announced his resignation back in January, you may recall. And during his victory speech, Carney took aim at what he called unjustified tariffs imposed by President Donald Trump.
He's attacking Canadian families, workers, and businesses, and we cannot let him succeed. And we won't.
Carney will now lead the party into the next federal elections, and they must be held before October, but could be called much earlier. Carney will face off with conservative leader Pierre Poilievre in that election.
The Duke Blue Devils are this year's ACC Women's Basketball Champions. They beat NC State 76-62 yesterday in the championship game in Greensboro. It is the first title for the Blue Devils since the 2013 season. The Duke women are now tied with North Carolina for second most tournament titles in conference history. 3 other North Carolina teams qualified for March Madness with the conference tournament wins. High Point University's men's team is going to the Big Dance for the first time after winning the Big South Conference. High Point's women's team also won their tournament to qualify for the NCAA tournament. And UNC Greensboro's women's team qualified by winning the Southern Conference tournament. Congratulations to all of them. A playground hero.
We started playing longer until he started choking.
How that 9-year-old in Raleigh sprang into action to save his friend's life on the basketball court.
Wildfire arrest. What authorities in South Carolina say a woman did that sparked that huge fire near Myrtle Beach.
And the southern half of our area today sees a little bit of rain, but more on the way as we head into the weekend. Chance for flooding in the mountains. I'll show you what's causing that shift in the pattern coming up in a little bit.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, grab the jacket as you're heading out the door this morning. Temperatures in Raleigh, Knightdale, Garner 37, Fuquay at 35, Rollsville 36 degrees, and good morning in Chapel Hill. You're down to 33 so far. So yes, the kids need that at the bus stop. Don't necessarily need the umbrella just yet. Most of the showers staying to our south through the peak commute hours. But as we get closer to midday, showers will start to creep into parts of Johnston County, Cumberland, Sampson, Wayne counties. But the farther north you go, generally the drier and even warmer you'll be on a day like today. Temperatures will mostly be in the 50s to the south and 60s to the north. Fayetteville 58, Raleigh 61, Durham at 63. I'll show you when we see widespread upper 70s coming up.
Hey, Chris, happening now. Traffic is definitely beginning to pick up as we take a live look at I-40 and Davis Drive right there at RTP, but flowing nicely in all directions this morning. We just have one crash to report. This is a crash right there, right near Crabtree Valley Mall at Glenwood and Lead Mine. We're not picking up any delays in the area, but just watch for some police activity if you happen to be navigating that intersection. But really, all our major routes are delay-free right now.
All right, thank you, Ken. A 9-year-old at a Raleigh charter school is being celebrated for saving a friend from choking. Jason Branch and his friend, 7-year-old Danye Moore, were just playing basketball at Raleigh Oak Charter School. Danye was eating a granola bar and then started to choke. And the moment was caught right here on surveillance video. Notice Danye in the dark-colored shirt bending over, struggling to breathe, and then Jason right there in the white shirt. He notices and then immediately steps in to help.
He was trying to say, hold on, but he couldn't because he was choking. I didn't know he was actually choking. So I just did my thing, which was a Heimlich.
And Jason says he learned how to perform the Heimlich maneuver from a YouTube video. Raleigh Oak Charter School plans to celebrate Jason's actions very soon.
He did his thing. Well done, Jason. The Trump administration has until this evening to pay debts owed to USAID partners. About $2 billion is owed to groups including the Global Health Council and the AIDS Vaccine Advocacy Coalition. The Trump administration tried to freeze all funding for foreign assistance programs. A federal judge ruled last week the payments must be made.
And it's happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, taking a look at stock futures, taking a look at Wall Street. This is where stock futures stand right now, majorly in the red this morning. Dow Jones down about 364 points. S&P 500 is down 59 points. NASDAQ down 242 points at this hour. The Dow Jones has slightly improved. About an hour ago, it was down 460 points. But this all comes as we are looking ahead to this week. S&P 500 had their worst week last week since September, and the struggles came as negotiations on tariffs between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada played out throughout the week. In an interview yesterday, President Trump responding to a question about the possibility of a recession, saying the economy is going through a period of transition, and he thinks these tariffs will make America rich again.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the opening bell very closely. Thanks, Michelle. A search is underway for a missing University of Pittsburgh student. She disappeared on a spring break trip to the Dominican Republic. Authorities in Punta Cana are looking for 20-year-old Sudiska Kananki. They say that she was last seen on a beach at a resort on Thursday. And in a statement posted online, the local Dominican Republican Emergency Operations Agency says it's coordinating an extensive search both on land and on water.
Protests against Elon Musk are growing outside Tesla dealerships across the country. People in Boston gathered outside a Tesla showroom yesterday. They protested Musk's role in the U.S. government and the limited oversight of his Department of Government Efficiency. Similar protests have happened in New York, California, and Arizona, as well as here in the Triangle.
A South Carolina woman is facing charges in connection with that huge wildfire near Myrtle Beach. Alexandra Bialowsko is accused of negligently starting a fire in a backyard fire pit that burned out of control. A burn ban was in place in Horry County at the time. And authorities say the backyard fire sparked a larger fire that has now burned 2,000 acres, and it's still burning and only 55% contained.
A health insurance nightmare solved. A local mom reached out to 5 on Your Side after her insurance denied coverage for a surgery. She didn't understand why it was denied because she'd gotten authorization from her insurance before the procedure.
We thought it was completely covered, went through the surgery, October 24th, completely fine. About a month later, November 21st, I got a letter in the mail that said, sorry, we decided to deny the surgery.
5 on Your Side explains what went wrong and how the team helped get the denial overturned. That's tonight at 6.
Today, you can learn about jobs in Durham's Parks and Recreation Department. The city will host a job fair from 5 to 7 tonight, and it's happening at the Walltown Recreation Center. It's focused on parks and rec as well as maintenance positions. Full, part-time, even seasonal positions are all available.
It is 6:17 and our temperatures are seasonal right now. And meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is off and Chris Michaels is in. I'm wondering if with our rain today, if we'll get a little dust with that.
And you know, that's something that we don't ordinarily have to talk about, but especially after Friday night, I think some folks in our newsroom were wondering. But Saturday, we had a front pass through and kicked all that dust out to sea. So it really cleaned the air up a little bit. Any rain we see today is not going to contain that. Currently, we're in the mid to upper 30s. We saw a briefly clear sky. Clouds continue to move back into the mix and eventually producing some rain showers for some of you. Futurecast showing by 11 a.m. Most of those showers still south of Wake County, and most of those are pretty light as well. As we head into the afternoon, showers will gradually shift toward the north. I-40 kind of being our dividing line between showers and pretty much nothing. Then as we head beyond 6 p.m. or so, we'll see some heavier pockets in Cumberland and Sampson counties. The low pressure moves offshore. Us being on the western side of it, we'll start to see a clearing sky again tonight. Dog walking forecast, it won't be very muddy through the first half of the day. As we head into the afternoon, we see those showers creeping in and high temperatures in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Tomorrow, the wind out of the west brings us into the mid 70s. At warm up continues Wednesday, mid to upper 70s. Thursday, a few more clouds will be in the mid 70s, but then as we back up the view, that southerly breeze Friday and Saturday brings us closer to 80 degrees, and that same breeze coming in ahead of a pretty strong storm system. Severe weather is going to be near the Mississippi and Tennessee River valleys Friday and Saturday. We're looking at some heavy rain Sunday. The severe weather threat is questionable for the time being. We've got plenty of time to figure that out and plenty of time to enjoy some really nice weather, especially with that later daylight now. Tomorrow we're in the mid 70s and we just take off from there. Still some cool mornings, but very warm afternoons through at least Saturday, mid 70s Sunday. Ken?
Chris, we continue to monitor this crash right near the belt lines, actually at Glenwood Avenue and Lead Mine Road. That's Crabtree Valley Mall where you see the red arrow. We're not picking up any delays in the area, but we're told this is a crash with injuries. So if you have to navigate Lead Mine and Glenwood, just be mindful of some police activity in that area. But elsewhere, we're not seeing any incidents reported in any of our major routes from Wendell, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, just delay-free at this hour. Let's leave you with this live look at US 1 and 64 Cary Parkway. This is a still shot that was taken within seconds. Traffic is definitely picking up, but moving nicely in all directions. You're getting ready to head out the door. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Egg price investigation. How the Justice Department is stepping in to try to find a solution to the high prices at the store.
And huge paydays. We'll tell you about the record-setting contracts 2 of the NFL's biggest stars just signed.
And we do want to give you a look at your winning NC Education Lottery numbers right here.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Rihanna is showing that giving birth can be a wonderful thing.
Yeah, Ken Smith is here to talk a little bit about that with What's Trending.
Yeah, Chris and Renee, the superstar, sharing candid photos in recognition of International Women's Day. The first shows her wearing pearls while holding her newborn Rizza in 2022. The second shows her in sunglasses with baby Riot Rose in 2023. Now, in the caption, she acknowledges her accessories, saying, "Don't ask, a lot was happening."
She calls them her little miracles, and she's so proud of them. And look, I don't think anything is more beautiful than mother holding her child for the first time. And I'm excited that Chris and Ken will get to experience that very soon. Chris and his wife expecting a child in May, but Ken, baby number 4, coming in what? A week?
Away. Days away.
So,
the countdown is on.
Oh.
Looking forward to it.
So excited for you guys.
So how about this? We're getting our first look at the new season of HBO's hit series, The Last of Us. Just the music alone, my goodness. The new season debuts at HBO and Max on April 13th.
I just smile because, like, I played the games, the first one and the second one, so, like, I'm aware of what happens plot-wise, but, like, if you don't know what's going to happen in the second season, just prepare. That's what I'm going to say. Did you watch it at all, Ken, the first season?
I have not.
Yeah, it's intense, and I will say it's a little graphic, but the story is good.
I'll put it on my list.
Well, there's a huge fan base for sure.
All right, well, 2 NFL superstars have massive new contracts this morning. Oof, the Buffalo Bills signed reigning league MVP Josh Allen to a, let me hold myself here, 6-year, $330 million contract extension. My credit score just went up reading that. It includes a guaranteed $250 million, which is the most guaranteed money in NFL history. Myles Garrett of the Cleveland Browns also got a record-setting contract. He signed a 4-year extension worth an average of $40 million a year. And that makes him the highest paid non-quarterback ever.
The ACC men's basketball tournament starts tomorrow in Charlotte. Our first local team won't play until Wednesday. That's when 5-seed UNC will play the winner of tomorrow's game between Notre Dame and Pitt. Top seed Duke and 4-seed Wake Forest will not play their first games until Thursday.
And coming up in the next half hour of news, we're tracking some rain that really targets the southern half of the area, but I'll show you when a potentially bigger rainmaker is on the way. Coming up.
New tariffs on farmers. China puts new restrictions in place on products from the United States. The response from President Donald Trump as trade wars escalate.
A fiery crash. A small plane goes down in a retirement community's parking lot in Pennsylvania. What the pilot says caused this latest air disaster.